It's the beginning of the year. It's time to take all of my plans and all of these books and make it into a curriculum plan. And for me, I'm using, well, first of all, I'm using the Ultimate Homeschool Planner by Deborah Bell. I buy it from Apologio. And I have tried different ways of doing this. It's like my third year doing this lesson planner, which means a lot for me because I've been homeschooling for 14 years and never found a lesson planner that I loved until I found this one. So in messing around with it, you can put multiple kids on this side, or the days of the week, or the subjects. And since we do so much subjects together as a group, I do the days of the week rather than each child. So obviously Monday through Friday. Friday tends to be an experiment field trip day if we can do it. Then I have this extra day here because I'm finding now that the kids are teenagers, we're doing a lot more in this time over the weekend that's service oriented, or maybe a service project that doesn't really fit into a neat place up here at the top. Across the top, I list them as we go through them: Bible, math, language arts, which includes spelling, writing, obviously language arts itself, grammar, history and science. They take either other day, and then enrichment. And enrichment for us can be music lessons, art. There are some books that don't necessarily fit into some place, but I really want the kids to know. Like here's by Leah Neiman from Kirklick, Let's Get Social, straightforward guide for kids on social media. I want my kids to have armor against what they're going to find out there online before they get online. So we're doing stuff like that. Also, like Apologio's What on Earth Can I Do, which is a worldview book talking about how you can see God's work throughout history. You can talk with others, how you as an individual can change the world. And this is my daughter's. I just found it in the pile. She's 9 now, so this was a while ago, and she's now moved up to their junior league. This is the 1914 ceasefire. And then this was the bombing of England where the kids had to go away, which the kids immediately connected to Narnia. See, I love it when one thing leads to another thing leads to another thing. So this led to literature of reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And then we also went and watched the shows. And then I had them do a compare contrast. So that's what I love about homeschooling, is where you can take one thing and you just keep rolling. So let's see. This pile here is for the Bible and basically for your moral character. Hal and Melanie Young's Love, Honor, and Virtue. That's going to be Daddy and my son. Journeys of Faithfulness by Sarah Clarkson. That's going to be me and the girls. We are all going through Living by the Book. We found it was a really good way to study and to read and to really get to know our Bibles. Sometimes I pull out devotions from Voice of the Martyrs. Here's a new one. The Museum of the Bible is going to be opening this November, I believe. And so they were kind enough to give me a review copy of Genesis to Ruth. So I need to get hopping on that. And I think it'll be a perfect time for the kids to do that. Family Toolbox, I don't know. Chris and I are still talking about that. I have done a review of it before. I'm not sure if it'll fit into this semester, just because we have so much going on here. But I definitely wanted to pull it out to check it out. So let's see, we have that. Oh, and way at the bottom I forgot is the What on Earth Can I Do? It's a book. It comes with journals. We have these neat little flyers from oh, I forget where it is. It's out in Colorado. Hey honey, do you remember what they're called? The people in Colorado? The Navigators or something like that? My brain just totally went. So anyway, for the life enrichment, art, singing, and we're also looking into piano lessons and drum lessons for some of the kids. And one daughter, she saw a ukulele at a homeschool convention. She's just dying to do that. So I'm going to see if I can get her to do guitar first and then ukulele, but we'll see. So this is my youngest materials. These are Straight Talk, which is a speech therapy. She needs clarification. Somewhere along the line, she ended up with a very thick, muddled voice. So we're going to go through some Straight Talk lessons. Down here is writing, writers in residence. We have, what can you do? That's her thing. Writers in residence. That's astronomy down there at the bottom. I'm going to go through with her here at the very first week to see if we still need sight words and Mango languages. She's learning Japanese. She has been all year. She absolutely loves it. And here is the next child up. She's learning Chinese. Of course, all my kids had to learn something different. Horizons math book. Though she is actually a grade ahead, Horizons math book is cycled a little faster. So this is not a big deal. She can still be 6th grade and be out of the 5th grade book. We're trying some different books to see if we can encourage more reading. There's Bob Jones' book, Writers in Residence. She's doing the same thing. There's an astronomy journal. And we're doing that. Next child, Alpha Omega, the 7th grade learning. He's learning French. And there's my teacher's guide. His literature is going to be The Sign of the Beaver. We'll start off there. Readers in Residence. And there's more. I'm just not sure where it went. Then my other daughter is German. I think she's on German 2 now. She's on geometry, prepping for Algebra 2. She's doing American literature. Again, this is a great product that we just found. They just came out with in Apologio. And I will be completely upfront. They gave me this one as a review copy, guys. So, but I cannot complain. I cannot complain at all. I mean, inventing and conserving, and there's wonderful pictures. They have great graphics. The material, the paper is nice and thick. I'm going to be able to use this through all of the kids. And the questions they ask are in depth, but not so hard that a high school student can't work on it independently at a high level of thinking. So we're doing that. And then of course it comes with this journal, which guides, which I am grateful for. So we're working towards independence at this age, where they can do their own stuff. Like this is teaching textbooks. And teaching textbooks is online on a CD we have, and it has been wonderful. Here is a whole bunch of literature that we're starting the semester off. We love to read, so there's going to be a whole ton. Now, we have the astronomy book over here. I only buy one astronomy book for the whole group because, well, I buy more. I don't have that kind of a budget. And one book, well taken care of. Look at this. It's beautiful. Again, they do the nice thick paper, so my kids who have lesser feeling or are a little sensory, intense, like, I'm going to see Pluto, don't rip it apart. And so we are working our way through. We're going to do a bunch of experiments. We have to finish up. We were supposed to finish up civics and presidents and states here with the election, but we got so into everything that was happening with the election that didn't happen. So we're going to do that the first 2 weeks. We'll be done in 2 weeks, but I need 2 weeks. And I used a whole variety of books here, and there's like a ton more over there. But presidents, and then we are plowing our garden under, people, our lawn. We are plowing our lawn under. We were going to do it last year. We marked it all out, but I got sick, and we were on so many conventions that my hubby he had his hands full. This year, I am not getting sick. Remember, this is the year of not getting sick. That's if anybody's looking for a word, it's healthy. But we're going to use Amanda Bennett's garden studies, which I adore. They have field trip ideas, library book ideas, spelling word ideas. I've used Amanda since I began homeschooling 14 years ago and will never stop. Love her to death. So we have the presidents, astronomy, let's see, and organizational. I do lots of notebooks and lots of composition books. Like right here, I have a lefty, so he has to have his own set of scissors, his own things. We have to have notebooks that don't have the ridging on the side or have it at the very top because it'll hurt his hand and then he just won't write. So we have that. Oh, it looks like we have someone who's squirreling away scripture. I love that. I love that. Okay. So, and then someone who bedazzled her shelves. We used to have a second one, but I've hit it so many times with my power wheelchair that it broke. So instead of getting rid of all of these nice little shelves, the shelf on the bottom broke. So I'm left with these shelves, and I'm just going to make them into daily reminder shelves of things like putting something simple that everybody, well, a couple of the kids use, which is the see and read that goes over your writing, helps you focus on what you're doing. And I'm just going to leave it there, and that'll work. Now, for those of you who know, I can get sick sometimes. I can get really sick sometimes. So this little cart we got at Sam's, and it's got a little push. Well, let me move my big old Bible. Oh, by the way, the reason I have such a huge old Bible is because my eyes are failing. But this Bible is awesome. Well worth the time and effort. So anyway, it's push cart. And it can push right up to the table. It can be pushed right back to my hospital bed. It can be pushed to the living room next to the couch, whatever's necessary. I like to use lots of tapes, colored tapes, to kind of catch everybody's attention. Tonight, when I'm writing down the details, here are all my teaching books. Here are all the doodads and tapes and things, and various stickies. I love stickies to go into my box, and a labeler. And of course, laminator. Love, love, love it. Here are some odds and ends. Keyboard classroom. I was thinking that it's time for the kids to go from just, really good hunt and pecking to good keyboarding skills. And while we're doing straight talk, we're also going to do speech exercise by twin sisters. I'm going to make some of these interactive flashcards, feet to foot. And there's a whole bunch of words that work really well like that, and there's a whole bunch of ideas that you can apply the same idea to a whole bunch of things. This one has bump, 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 bump as you go down the line, which is okay if you're a tactile learner. But some of my kids are very, very visual, so we go with this. We go with the bright yellow being the baseline. And so that's what I have for a lot of the kids, and I have a smaller grade for my younger child there. These are the legacy books, so these are books that we're creating memories with the kids. History, as soon as we're done with the presidents, is going to turn to state history, West Virginia. And here are some cool things with Woolworks and a hand-knitted rug that we're going to put together. We did sewing and machine sewing the first semester, so now we're going to work on wool. Alright, that is 5 children. Well, actually my 5th child, even though she's graduated, she wanted to learn a little more about taxes and things like that, which I totally understand, because when I got out into the real world, I was kind of lost when it came to that, and I give her high honor for realizing you need to know before someone comes a knocking on your door. Let's see. And this Homeschool Portfolio by Kim Sorges of Not Consumed. We need to have some sort of an ongoing portfolio, and I do recommend that for anybody in special needs, just so you can clearly see what's going on with your child. If, Lord forbid, but if someone comes to your door, you can, if necessary, just pull this out and say, no, 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 no. We've been doing XYZ all year long. Here are the therapy sessions we've gone to. Here's the books that he's been reading. So, we are completely up to date. And this is going to be, you see how I tape the bottom of mine in different colors so I know which section that we're going to work on. Well, this section is actually the biggest section I have ever done. And I'm glad I chose the owl tape. It'll make me feel better. But this is 12 weeks. And normally we only do 6 to 8 weeks, half of that. But there's so many doctor's appointments and we have so little time because at the end of that 12 weeks, we're immediately rolling into convention season. And I want to make sure that we get basically as much time in there as possible. And I'm very flexible. If it comes down to it and I notice everybody is just really lagging and they're upset, then we can stop and we'll do things like filling out the field trip journal and getting it ready for our trip, because we're going to take a whole bunch of trips this spring to various conventions, and we're going to use each place and we're going to find at least one small field trip or one large field trip, however the Lord chooses, and we're going to make it special. It's going to be a family memory. So we'll put it in the field trip, we'll put it in the legacy thing. So it looks like I have a whole table full of work to do, and I better get started.